Shrinking the court is a tactic that players of any level can apply, and it's a great way to gain confidence when you're not playing well and ultimately raise the level of your play. Every tennis player has been in a situation where they're not playing well, and as a result they lose confidence, and that loss of confidence leads to them playing even worse, and so on, so it snowballs. It's sort of a negative reinforcing loop, if you want to characterize it that way. So the question is, how do you break out of this loop? How do you reverse it so that you're actually on an upward angle as opposed to a downward angle with regard to your level of play? Well, shrinking the court is a simple tactic that allows you to do this. And this was taught to me by Frank Salazar, the 2008 United States Olympic Committee Coach of the Year. So literally, he's one of the best coaches in the United States. And this tactic is very simple, and it helps you cut down on the number of unforced errors you make. Now, a lot of people say to themselves, well, I'm just going to be more conservative, I'm going to go for bigger targets, and that will cut down the number of unforced errors I'm making. But what that ends up producing is basically a situation where you hit every single ball down the middle of the court and you don't play your game. Instead of hitting shots you would typically hit when you're playing well, you'll just put everything down the middle of the court in an effort to get the ball in. So that's a really narrow style of play, easily attackable by your opponent, and it doesn't really boost your confidence too much because you're not playing your style of game, you're just trying to keep the ball in. You're pushing in many situations. So shrinking the court is very, very simple. Like I said before, you take the sidelines and you move them in maybe 3 feet or so, sort of up to you, whatever is most appropriate, and this becomes the new boundary that you're allowed to aim for. So it's like this area here doesn't exist anymore. Again, you move it in, and this allows you to go for shots you would normally go for, play within the framework of your normal game, but your margins are just bigger. You've shrunk the court, so if you're a little bit off, you're still going to keep the ball in. So by shrinking the court, but still playing your game, you're going to cut down on those unforced errors, but still play like you normally play, and you're slowly going to gain confidence by doing that. And as you gain confidence, as you become more comfortable, then you can expand the court. So you can go back towards the normal boundaries. Or you don't have to go necessarily back to the main boundary, the actual sidelines. If this was your original new court, so to speak, then you can expand things just a little bit, be a little bit more aggressive, and then progressively work your way back to the normal sidelines. And if you do that and you start to miss, well, then you move things back in. You bring it down a little bit, get a little bit more conservative. But by doing this, again, you are playing your style of play. You are just adjusting the boundaries based on how on or how off you are. And this is going to allow you, when the game is dropped a little bit, to maintain confidence and avoid that downward slope, that reinforcing cycle where poor play leads to a loss of confidence, leads to even worse play, and so on. This is how you break out of that and raise the level of your play by being mentally tough and using a tactic that allows you to gain confidence. Want to know the secret to Roger Federer's forehand? Click the link in the description and sign up for our 100% free course.